Okay guys, this is a video that a couple of people have asked me to do. This is basically how to take apart your bolt carrier assembly out of your AR-15 so that you can clean it after you're done shooting or after it's been sitting for a while. I'm not actually going to go ahead and clean it on video because there's plenty of quality videos out there where you can find that, but this is just the basics of how to take it down. So first thing you want to do is make sure that your weapon pointing in the safe direction is clear, no magazine, no round in the chamber. And from there, you push out your rear pin, and that disconnects your upper from your lower. Then it's just a matter of pulling your charging handle back, and your bolt carrier comes right out. Now the only tool you're going to need for this is a 1/16 inch pin punch for some of the more intricate parts, but otherwise this is all you're going to need. Keep in mind this will be reversed to the way most of your AR-15s are because mine is left-handed, but otherwise all the processes are the same, just reversed in mirror image. So the first thing you want to do is push your bolt back. Then from there you can use the pin or your fingers to take out firing pin retaining pin, set that aside, and then your firing pin itself comes right out the back. Next thing you need to do is take this cam pin on top and rotate it. Because it sits across the bolt, it needs to be in line with it. Once it's in line, it just slides right out. Then after that, nothing's holding your bolt in, so you just pull it out the front. One thing you want to make sure of, I've never had this happen thankfully, but I have heard from people who have said to make sure that your gas key on top of your bolt carrier is tight, because if the gas comes back, hits your key and shears it off, you could suffer a catastrophic failure as a result, and nobody wants that. This is where your pin punch comes into play. You do not have to do this, however I like to, just because I like being thorough when I clean. You take this and push the pin out which holds your extractor on. You just want to make sure that you keep pressure on that because it is under spring tension. But the pin just falls out, and then off comes your ejector. At this point, everything is disassembled to the point where it needs to be for you to clean it. Once you've done that, you can start putting it back together. You start with the extractor, put it right back on the way it was before. You can just use your finger pressure until you line up the holes in there, and then you just drop the pin right back in and get it seated so that it's centered right along the extractor. The other thing I wanted to mention, you'll notice on your gas rings towards the back of your bolt, there's notches in each of them. You want to make sure that those 3 notches are not lined up with each other, because if they are, escaping gas will go right out that notch and out through your rifle. So once you make sure that your rings are offset from each other and your ejector is back on, then you just have to put the carrier back together. Your bolt goes in only one way. Your ejector is going to be on the same side as the grooves for your forward assist. In my case it's the left, on most of yours it'll be the right. Then you line the hole in the bolt up with the notch here in the carrier, and you can put your cam pin back in, again making sure that it is in line with the bolt towards the front. Once it's in, you rotate it so that it goes across the bolt, and you're ready to put your firing pin back in. You drop it in through the lower back, goes right in, and then the last thing to do is put your firing pin retaining pin back in. Just pinch it together a little, it slides right in. Now your bolt carrier is back together. When you go to put it back in the rifle, make sure that the bolt is pulled forward. You mount it against the charging handle That's in. Connect your upper to your lower, push your pin back through, cycle it to make sure that everything works. Go ahead in a safe direction when you know it's unloaded. Squeeze, cycle back, squeeze one more, and that's it. You've got it put back together. If you have any questions or comments, leave them and I will try to get to them as soon as possible. Take care and have a good weekend.